Hello everyone, I have a very special one for you today. The Legends of Excalibur 2555 for the PlayStation 1. This game is a time capsule of the 90s, complete with blocky graphics and clunky gameplay, and this game really goes all out on the retro aesthetics. If you're looking for a game that screams, I'm old school, this is it. You play as a knight who wields the legendary sword Excalibur, which somehow still exists in the year 2555. The game's story is a mishmash of fantasy and sci-fi, with the knight battling hordes of robots that apparently have not evolved in the past 500 years to be able to attack in any other way than a simple slash or punch. I mean, you'd think by the year 2555 robots would have developed a few new tricks. The gameplay is where things really start to get interesting. The controls are clunky and unresponsive, and the camera angles will make you feel like throwing a controller at the wall. It's not uncommon to get stuck on a wall because of the game's wonky controls, and the combat can be a bit confusing at first, but once you get used to it, the combat is quite rewarding and fun. There is some skill to this combat. You have to time your blocks and strikes at just the right time before blocking their incoming attacks again. In all honesty, I really did enjoy this game. It's not just an action game, but an exploration game with puzzles. You meet other characters throughout the world and they will ask you to find them items. Once you find said item, you can return to them and they will reward you with something. Normally an item that another NPC wants. I loved this gameplay loop, and mixed in with the good combat and great level design, this is a must play if you want a unique experience on the PlayStation 1. Now onto the levels. You start off in an old eerie looking cave, and as you progress through the game's levels, you get more and more futuristic. Every level feels unique and very fun to be in. The enemies also seem to have their own styles and attacks, and it helps mix up the fights you encounter. Although some of these enemies are very annoying and take way too much damage to take down, I found myself trying to run past a lot of the enemies in the later game, as I started to get a bit fed up with the long battles of blocking and waiting to hit. The game's graphics are dated to say the least, but as PS1 games go, I think this is up there among some of the best looking. The sound effects are okay. I really do have to complain about the voice acting though. I think the voice acting is good, but it's near impossible to be able to hear them over the loud music and background sounds.
Hello, dear. My granddaughter is very poorly. I'm afraid she won't last much longer. We have been living in this dirty hole far too long.
In today's world you could just patch this sound issue out, but back then, once that disc is out and finalised, they can't really fix an issue like this. This alone did kind of ruin my immersion. Overall, I would highly recommend Excalibur 2555 if you're into retro gaming. The world is great, the characters you meet along the way are all interesting, and the overall gameplay loop is fun and well worth your time. It's a fun throwback to a simpler time in gaming, but it's also a stark reminder of how far we've come. So grab your sword and embark on a journey with Excalibur 2555.